And hello, everybody, guys. Welcome, welcome. Come on in, guys. Good to see everybody. And here we are on the Inspiration Channel. Wow. Wow. So a new beginning, and exciting, very exciting beginning. What we're going to talk about, we're going to do some planetary union coach coaching. And it's good to finally start this journey on inspiration. And all you guys who are coming over from Orville Nation, you guys are gonna enjoy this. I think you're gonna enjoy this. So, why is the law of attraction not working for you? There's probably been an infinite amount of videos made about this. And as you guys know, I come from the personal development space, and we're going to talk a little bit about that right now. Let me just say hi to people who are in here. And hi, Lee. Good to see Brother Lee. Have I been finally abducted? No, we just got a late start. Trying to figure out our new channel over here. And welcome to everybody, all you lurkers. I know Maria is in the background there working and listening, and all you guys who are lurking out there. Good to see all of you. Why is law of attraction not working? Now, first of all, let me just say that the law of attraction, as one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, used to say, the law of attraction is a secondary law, and the primary law there is the law of vibration. The law of vibration is the frequency, right? And this is the best way to explain it, basically. The frequency at which we are vibrating at, right? So it's just where everybody is here. Everybody here is like a radio station, right? And you are emitting a frequency which basically reflects, what you have, not just what you have inside, but who you are inside. And a lot of people forget that when you see like a movie like The Secret, and when you see a movie like The Secret, and you The Secret is very good for just, opening minds. It's a good tool for opening minds. And but does it really, excuse me, it's very good for opening minds, but does it really, oh, this is new. The comments are showing up. Hello, Maria. There she is, chatty, finally. I knew you were in there. The chats are showing up on the screen. Okay, that's new for me. Okay. So a lot of you, when you came across The Secret, right, and you started to envision a goal, for example, The Secret talks about, right, and not just The Secret, but like a lot of personal growth coaching in general talks about the goal, the particular goal you are aiming for, the particular thing you're striving for. But one of the things that is often not considered, not just in content about this, but even on one-on-one coaching, one of the things that's not considered is your journey, your path of growth, right? And what is often happening to many people here is that they're so focused on the goal. And not only that, but some people can become obsessed with the goal. And there's several different things that happen. Some people Some people, for example, get so obsessed with the goal that all they do is push, 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 push forward, right? And and sometimes you have to plant the seed and let the seed grow, right? It's like, for example, if you plant a pine tree, right? And you start to see, you plant it, you water it, you put it in a good place, the sun is shining on it. You might give it some fertilizer. But you start to see the beginning of the tree sprout, right? The sprout. But at some point, you're just going to have to sit back and, watch it grow and even forget about it for a while and then come back to it. That's what you're going to have to do, because that seedling you're just going to have to let that seedling sprout on its own. And so a lot of times people will obsess over a goal and they think it's going to come faster by obsessing on it. And not only that, but not only that, but pushing, 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 pushing. And one of the things that happens is, if you are if you're very aware that you're not very aware that you do not have it, and you feel this urge to, push forward, and in certain cases in life, pushing forward is necessary, and it's great, and it's necessary, and for that to happen. But a lot of times when you plant a seed in your mind and in your heart, you need to let that go. You need to let it go. You need to let it has life of its own, and you need to step back a little bit, forget about it almost a little bit, and let it come to life on its own, right? So so sometimes when people are, like I was saying, when people are obsessing about it, they're very aware that they don't have it yet, right? And so the pushing itself, right, to make it happen, the pushing itself to make it happen is somehow many times reinforcing the fact that the awareness that you don't have it. And so the living in the end, as Neville Goddard talks about, right? The living in the end of being there in the end of having achieved that goal is not happening, because you're aware that you don't have it, and you're pushing, 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 trying to make it happen. So, excuse me. So, so that's one thing. That's one way. The endless pushing, that, and the endless awareness that you don't have it, is one thing that is holding you back. Of course, but that is not the focus. Actually, we're going to talk about. There's something I want to focus on more, with regards to why law of attraction is not working for you. Let me talk quickly about gold cards. Now, there is something called the goal, GOAL, not gold, GOAL, gold card paradox. And you guys might know that, where is one? You guys might know that I like to treat my clients, I like to show my clients to do the typical PJ gold card, right? You take an index card, right? You fold it in half, and you have 4 faces on it. With the goals, your long-term goals are written on one of the outside faces of it. So you have 4 faces, like a little booklet, and you are focusing on there's 4 different aspects of the card. we'll review this in a different video, right? But so the goal card paradox. So yeah, like for example, one of my like I said, one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, he was very big on setting a date on your goal card. Now, that often worked for him because he was very good at it. Bob had a lot of mental discipline. And so there are certain people where setting a date, a future date for a goal does work. However, there is a paradox in that. And the paradox is this. When you're writing down the goal and you're saying, let's say you're setting that goal as a month out, right? As Neville Goddard talks about, and not just Neville Goddard, but a lot of people, and strangely enough, like Bob talked about this too, right? About living in the end. Now, the paradox is that if you're setting a goal, let's say you're setting a goal for a month out, you're recognizing and acknowledging that you don't have that yet. So you're recognizing and acknowledging that you do not have that yet. And you are in a process. Now, what does that do? I think that not living in the end is, unless you have a great deal of mental discipline and you are used to doing things in this way. I think that sorry, it's from some noise coming from the street. Unless you are used to doing things in this way, and even people who are used to doing this in this way, because I think that even Bob would have benefited in some instances from doing things in a without the date on the goal card. So when you are living with, when you are trying to manifest with the date in mind, you are acknowledging and you're very aware that you don't have that yet. Now, that allows for lots of things to happen. It can allow for doubt to creep in. It can allow for the reinforcement that you do not have it, which is also the problem with the pushing that we talked about before. You're aware that you don't have it and you're trying to make it happen. So does that help? I think that the Neville Goddard style philosophy of living in the end, living in the goal, like the American monk Bert Goldman used to say about connecting with a version of yourself that has already achieved this, right? And so that's a kind of a different style. It's kind of a different way about the whole quantum jumping that Bert used to talk about. Wonderful, very interesting person, by the way. Check that out, the American monk, Bert Goldman. And that's another way of living in the end, right? I think that when you live in the end, in the result that you are looking for, it greatly favors you achieving the goal. I definitely think so. So, excuse me. But that's not where I want to finish this conversation. I really, really want to talk about one thing. So we talked about a few things that might not help your manifestation work. But where I really, really want to go is that, first of all, before I get there, let me talk about the difference between therapy and coaching. one of the major differences, and by the way, a lot of people do not talk about this, they don't understand it. You'll be surprised about how many coaches do not recognize or they do not clearly identify some of the major differences between therapy and coaching. Now, I like to, in a very simple way, because it has to be simple for people to understand. In a very simple way, I like to make the following distinction. Therapy is something that kind of looks at your present and your past. It looks very much into the past. And it kind of acknowledges and it kind of makes you work on the past, right? Coaching is often focused on the present and forward, very focused forward, and it is focusing on where you want to go. Now, both of those are very, very different approaches, and they should probably be used in conjunction on some. And so there has to be some and in coaching you can have some recognition of the past, because you probably need some recognition, although you don't want to stay there and work like with therapy. You want to stay there and work on the past, right, all the time. Sometimes you're beating a dead horse because you're just way too focused on the past. And unfortunately, when you talk to, I work with a lot of mental health and professionals and psychiatrists and psychologists. And unfortunately, you have sometimes you have a therapist say, oh, a good patient, this guy's a good patient, this woman's a good patient. What's a good patient? A good patient is somebody who keeps on coming and, is not very complicated, is not a very difficult patient to have. But they don't necessarily get to the point where they leave therapy, so they're always coming back, but they're not too difficult to have as a patient. That's a good patient. So they keep on coming, they're always there. And honestly, there's a dependency. And I've talked a lot about this with professionals. I have talked about this with professionals, and I said I've urged professionals, don't create that dependency. There may be situations where some people need it, but there's a lot of people who don't need to enter into that dependent relationship with their therapist. So basically, where am I going with this? So the relationship with the therapist can be a relationship that doesn't let you evolve, right? And the relationship with your coach can be a relationship where not enough work is being done on you. So this is the major issue that I want to talk about, why the law of attraction is not working for you. Sometimes the law of attraction or your law of vibration, law of attraction, or even you working with a coach, even one-on-one, you are very focused on the goal, right? You might be hyper focused on the goal. And like we said before, hyper focused on the goal. Sometimes you need to step back and let the tree grow, right? Sometimes you need to step back and even forget about it a little bit once you plant the seeds, right? You go back and water it every once in a while, right? But hyper focused on the goal might not be the answer, right? So what we want to say here about why the law of attraction might not be working for you, for me, for others, might not be working for many people. And we're going to focus here on the fact that the law of attraction, let me just say hi. Hey, Angular boys. Good to see all of you. Good to see everybody in here. Keeping the therapist company and vice versa. No kidding. um, so the one thing I want to focus on here, this is the kind of the main issue for today of why the law of attraction might not be working for you, and therefore your coaching might not be working for you, or your focus on the goal might not be working for you, and that is you might need to work on yourself somewhat. It can be in therapy or it can be out of therapy, but you need to be, even if you're working with a coach, you need to be working on yourself. And sometimes there may be prejudices, there may be issues, there may be blocks, there may be psychological blocks. Sometimes we have psychological blocks with something, and people think that it's very intellectual, but it's really often very emotional, right? Very integrated emotional stuff going on with blocks, right? And so you need to people need to realize that sometimes they're moving forward with their coaching or moving forward trying to manifest certain things or moving forward on a goal or whatever often has to do with also working on yourself. What am I going to learn? Ask yourself, what are you going to learn from this whole process of trying to create a result? What are you going to think about that? Think about that for a second. Think about some goals. Think about some goals that you're working on, and think about what the lesson is in you achieving that goal. What's the real learning process? Maybe the real learning process here is not just achieving the goal, but removing a block or removing some prejudice or removing some pre-existing idea or some habit or something that something on your interior that you need to be working on. So I want you guys to think about moving forward means moving forward on results, moving forwards on manifesting really has a lot also to do with working on continued personal growth, working on yourself, working on stuff inside that might be holding you back. Now, the number one, so in short, what I'm trying to say here is that one of the number one problems here with trying to get a result through coaching or law of attraction or whatever is forms of self-sabotage. Now, the forms of self-sabotage are often going to be, something that you're not conscious of all the time or at all, right? So you have to really, personal growth, we are all, whether you realize it or not, we are all here on a journey of personal growth, right? We're all on a journey of personal growth. And let's say you're trying to manifest, I'm trying to manifest this dream job, this result, this whatever, this relationship. Often it's not going to come until you are ready. Not coming until you are ready means work on yourself, okay? It means work on yourself. It means personal growth. It means what are the lessons involved in me reaching that final, what are the lessons involved in me living in that result, right? Guys, I want to urge people to leave comments and ask questions, whatever, after the video. And I want to thank everybody, first of all, who's in here live. And I want to thank everybody who's on the replay. We have wonderful, believe me, wonderful things coming on inspiration. I do want to also, we're going to do a special video for somebody who truly inspired us. You guys all know Judge Frank Caprio from Cotton Providence. You guys all know that, all of you living in the States know that his message of kindness and from on the bench, in the courtroom, and out of the courtroom, of course. And we have something special to share. And of course, our hearts go out to his family for his passing. And we had hoped, and we were in the process of arranging special time with him that we were going to be airing on this channel. As you guys know, inspiration has been inspired by several people, and he is like top of that list. Judge Caprio is so top of that list for the creation and the launch of Inspiration channel and the Inspiration platform. So hopefully we're going to spend some time talking about him, and yeah, very sad to have seen him gone so quickly. We thought we might have be able to spend some time with him, but that's okay. He's touched our lives and so many lives, and his message of kindness goes on, and something we're going to talk about a lot. So guys, and I just want to sum up our little conversation here. Why is the law of attraction not working for you? Why is the law of attraction, or the primary law of vibration, not working for you, or not working for you in certain instances? It often has to do with inner work. And look there, inner work. Thank you, Lee. Exactly, inner work. It often has to do with inner work that is yet to be done, right? And doing that inner work, that personal growth journey is going to be necessary. And I know we're often very fixated. On the result, on what we're working on, because listen, there's a lot of highly motivated individuals in the chat, right? There's a lot of highly motivated individuals. The brother Lee is one of them. We're often very motivated to what we're focused on, our results, our goals, what we're trying to manifest. Let me say really one quick thing about manifest. I've been holding it. I've been wanting to say it. Really one quick thing about manifesting. We're always manifesting, right? Sometimes we're manifesting things we want, things we don't want. We are always manifesting. Part of the human experience is that we are manifesting 24/7. That's why it is important to be aware of where our focus is, right? Where our intellectual and our emotional, our desires, where all that focus is, because we're always manifesting. And one thing that is very important there that people don't often consider is what your frame of reality. There's lots of things about living this experience on Earth that are very limiting. And there's lots of people who have wanted to control and limit others on Earth for a long time, right? So we are often living within limitations that we are not even aware that we're exposed to. Or these limitations, we're not even aware that these limitations have been imposed on us, right? And yes, we're always manifesting. I believe we have to manage and calibrated Excedrin. Okay. Oh, it's okay. Excedrin is like a pain relief medication in the States, etc. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Lee. So our frame of reality has a lot to do with what we can manifest. You're never gonna manifest more higher than what you can imagine. That's why it's so important to think outside the box, because if you think outside the box, um, and you think outside the box about what you normally would think about or what you normally would expect, your expectations are huge with regards to manifestation, right? So that's why, like, learning from others, reading biographies, understanding how other people do things, understanding what other people are exposed to, understanding what others expectations are. It's important. You know that thing about how, tell me like the 5 people you hang out with, and I'll tell you what your life is like. You're going to end up being in a very similar situation to the 5 people you hang out with the most, right? That's something very common in personal growth, right? And in psychology. That's very true. So it's important to meet new people. It's important to choose environments that are good for you. It's important to choose environments that help you grow. It's important to choose environments and surround yourself with people who stimulate you and who provide positive things in your life. And listen, if you're, sometimes you hear people in leadership positions say this: if you're the smartest person in the room, if you're the leader and you're the smartest person in the room, you might be making a mistake. It's important always to keep learning. It's also important to be able to distinguish between individuals who might give you good advice and individuals who might not give you good advice. So you have to discern what is good for you, right? But obviously, there's many situations where you're going to be in new territory, right? But even if you're in new territory, there's one thing that's going to keep you on course, and that's here. And inside, right here in the human heart, right, you will be able to discern. Ultimately, you might have moments where you doubt, but ultimately you will be able to discern if things are good for you or not when in new territory. Okay. So to resume, why the law of attraction is not working for you? Either you are pushing too much, you might be pushing too much. You're not letting the seed you have planted grow. You have to let it grow. The gold card paradox. We talked about the gold card paradox. It's more important, from my perspective, to live in the end and not put the date. Do not put the date on the gold card. And I know there's a lot of gurus out there who, and very well established gurus, and we talked also about Bob doing it, who like to put the date. I suggest you don't. And we're going to talk about the gold card, PJ's gold card, the inspiration gold card. We're going to talk about that in another video. And I know there's a lot of students in the chat, former students who are doing that. I got a couple of messages. I know you guys out there are doing your gold card every day or almost every day. So keep at it. It keeps you on track, by the way. The gold card keeps you on track. So, and ultimately, you might not be, the law of attraction might not be going the way it should for you because you need to keep working on yourself. And if you're trying to manifest something that requires inner growth before it can happen, because life, God, the universe, whatever you want to say, is going to provide the result. Yeah, not in your time, but in God's time, right? So, most likely. So, it might require you to do some inner work. It doesn't mean that it can't happen quickly or relatively quickly or in a relatively short period of time. It doesn't mean it can't. It just means that you have to, like we said, coaching and therapy, you have to look forward. Don't stay too stuck in the past, but you be aware of the past, right? And work on yourself. Learn to know yourself. Some of the best athletes, right? Like the Michael Jordans, for example. One of the things people say, people who know like Michael Jordan very well, for example, just the example of Michael Jordan. Excuse me. Hey, Bambi. Good to see you. Good to see everybody in here. The really, really amazing athletes know themselves very well. And I'm going to say this too. The Michael Jordans, those and many others, doesn't have to be even at that level, but there's lots of people at different levels of talent. There are some people who are very good at living in the final result, and they bring it to life. And guys, one of the final results that we want to create here, is this wonderful, wonderful community of inspiration. And we want all of you to inspire your lives every day. And this wonderful community is going to help you inspire your life. It's going to help you inspire your life. So once the inspiration platform launches, be ready, because it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful, amazing thing. Quick comment here from Lee. Quick, unrealistic, large goals can be discouraging. Enjoy the journey, process of change in you and around you. God's time. Amen. So thank you, Lee, for that comment. By the way, I'm going to add one thing here from Lee's comment here. I'm going to add one comment here from regarding what Lee said. If you're ultra focused on something happening by a certain time and it doesn't happen, and you tried it, once, twice, 3 times, whatever, discouraged. People get discouraged, right? And maybe it's more important to look at the lesson to be learned, because life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you. So you have to look at what is happening, right? Why is it happening? What am I learning from it? And also, I also want to say it's very important. Don't get discouraged. Look at the lessons to be learned, but don't get discouraged, because life is not written. Your life is not written. And there's a lot of things about, the present, the past, and the future are all happening now, right? And so the future's already happened and whatever, and blah, 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 blah. And there's all this quantum physics talk about that. And yes, but there is ultimately always free will. And if we didn't have free will, it wouldn't make sense to be here, right? And then we get into the whole, American monk Burt Goldman thing about quantum jumping to versions of yourself that are living slightly different lives or very different lives. So free will is always here. Don't get discouraged. Okay. And work on your goals, but work on yourself. Work on your goals, but work on yourself. Don't forget to work on yourself. All right, guys. Wonderful, wonderful to have you all here. Thank you all for being here. I want to remind people that there's a lot of streams that are going on just on Inspiration TV. There will be some that are going on both Orville Nation and Inspiration. And of course, the big Inspiration umbrella, we're going to be adding other channels to the Inspiration umbrella. But Brother Lee, always so kind, always so kind. Guys, I want to thank everybody for being here, all you guys in the comments. Everyone, I want to thank everyone for being here. Welcome, everybody, and to a wonderful new beginning of Inspiration TV and the Inspiration platform. Many blessings to you guys. Make it a wonderful day. Make it a wonderful week. And you create your day. You create your day. If it happens to start out not so good, make it a great day. Make it a great day. And don't force it. Believe in it. Believe in it. Plant that seed. Water it. Step back and watch it grow. Then move away from it. Come back to it. And just keep planting wonderful seeds, guys. One more comment. We go through life planting seeds from our mind and from our heart. Be aware of what you're planting. Be aware of your thoughts and your emotions, what you are planting on that fertile ground. What are you planting every day? All right, guys, many, many blessings to you. And we will see you soon again. Take care. Blessings.